Hey guys, how are you doing? It's Cryptoinsightuk here, bringing you back another YouTube video. Today we're going to be discussing XRP, Bitcoin, and what is going on specifically with our economy and what might happen next. My opinions, anyway, that's all they are, not financial advice, as always. Excuse my voice, the reason I haven't made much content this week is because I've been in bed all week with flu, feeling much better today, but still a bit congested, so I sound really nasal. We're just going to get into it. So is there potential for more banks to declare insolvency after hours tomorrow, which is actually now today? So Friday night is often when banks declare if they have problems, because it gives them then 48 hours to sort out the issue. And someone said, not asking for financial advice, but here's my monthly compensation safe in the bank. I said nothing's safe unless your bank is insured, which is genuinely true. I'm not trying to cause any panic, because I know that one of the reasons that banks are under pressure at the minute is because people are panicking and withdrawing capital, but it is genuinely true that if your bank isn't insured, then neither is your capital over the insured amount anyway. And then this is the biggest worry as of today, in my opinion. Deutsche Bank shares dropped, well, it says 3.4%, but it's actually, they've dropped 9% today now. Could there be issues there? We know that Deutsche and Credit Suisse were two that were rumoured to have problems a long while ago. Credit Suisse obviously now been bought out by UBS. CDS defaults went up huge. And now it looks like the same thing's happening for Deutsche Bank. But obviously, as Jerome Powell came out yesterday or Wednesday on his high horse and said, "Oh, everything's sound in the banking industry, nothing to worry about." Yeah, looks like it, mate. One of the biggest banks in Europe, but they are systemically important. So I presume they'll be bailed out if there is a problem. That's from what I know anyway. So let's keep our eye on it, but let's see what else we've got to talk about here. So actually, I'm going to wait for a second for that. We're going to talk about Raul's tweet first. Raul. Which tweet did I want to get up? I don't know why it's not saved on the tweet that I wanted. Great. We'll just go on my Twitter then, because there was a specific tweet that I wanted. It was this one, actually. No, it wasn't this one. Well, fuck this YouTube so far. Where are you? What was I going to say? He tweeted this tweet. You just tweeted again. This. US regional banks, Euro banks, repo lines, gift market liquidity, CMBS plus approaching more cowbell. So basically more dollars to be printed, which is what I've been talking about for a while. And that, if you couple it up with this, which is what we just looked at, the Fed balance sheet is now 2/3 of the QT that they did last year has been reversed. This is one of the reasons why we see crypto rallying so heavily. There's as Raul Powell says, a direct correlation between the Fed balance sheet and the rise of risk on assets. Normally, there's a 98.5% correlation between the rise in the Fed balance sheet and the rise of the S&P and crypto specifically. That from Raul Powell's statistics. Also, we've seen this from Connor Ryder, that liquidity conditions for Bitcoin are drying up, meaning that there's not as much Bitcoin on exchanges as there has been before, meaning that people are storing it on hard wallets. It's a perfect storm for crypto, in my opinion, a bank run, because if more dollars get printed, crypto goes up in price, because this is literally how it works. We can see throughout history that as dollars are printed, assets increase in value. So I've been saying the whole time on my newsletter, I've been preaching at you guys. I've been saying, please understand that when money gets printed, assets go up in value. I don't care what anyone says online. It's just a byproduct of how the market works. The denominator starts to debase, then the numerator has to go up. It's literally simple mathematics. You'll see my brain's not completely back to normal. But with drying up liquidity, increased liquidity in dollars, and a scare on traditional finance, it's a perfect storm. People might pull out capital from traditional finance because they're scared of it, and even if they allocate 1 or 2% of their portfolios into crypto or Bitcoin, then obviously Bitcoin's going to go up. If more dollars come out, Bitcoin's going to go up. If Bitcoin's illiquid, it means that pressures either way don't have to be as strong. It's going to move the price in a more substantial amount. And we're going to have a little look at the Bitcoin chart quickly now. Just on the weekly is what I wanted to look at. So this is the Bitcoin weekly. And all I want to say is take your emotion out of this. Take whatever anyone's saying on Twitter away. sit here with the neutral brain, look at the size of this flipping volume, what we've done in the last week, and tell me why we can't do this when what we did in, when's this, 2020 into 21. Tell me why we could not do that. There's not even anywhere near as much volume. We've got space still on the RSI. We're in about the same sort of position as we were on the RSI. Volume's much larger for a reversal or a breakout. We've got illiquidity on the exchanges and more dollars about to be printed with a potential banking crisis. I'm not saying we're definitely going to do that at all. I'm just saying, like I've been saying the whole time in this newsletter, is when these candles come, they're going to come so fast and people are going to get caught on the sidelines. You've got, I'd say at least 50% of the crypto market at the minute are waiting for a low. And all the content creators and the influencers have been saying, oh, we're going down to 10K, and we could. I'm not going to say we can't, but all I'm going to say there is, though, they're still sitting on the sidelines waiting for an entry. If we keep pushing, they're going to have to get in at some point. And this is why I said that this rally is going to happen faster than anyone, and it's going to catch everyone offside, because I thought this would happen with the banks. I thought they would have to print capital. Didn't know it was specifically going to be banks that were defaulting, but I thought the Fed's only option to solve whatever problem that was going to come was to print money. And when we print money, crypto goes up. And when crypto goes up, in a period where we've had such negativity, people are going to get caught on the wrong side of the trade. And when people get caught on that wrong side of the trade, they also then have to FOMO into that rally. And that makes the price rise much faster than anyone expects. And that's why I've said that when green candles come, they're going to rip your face off. And I've said it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in the newsletter. And when we were in this sort of price, yes, I wasn't calling the exact bottom. I was about 18K. I was pleading with you guys in the newsletter, please start to dollar cost average. And if you want some crypto exposure, please get it. Because at some point, it is going to reverse. Where the bottom exactly might be, if things happen like Tether collapses or whatever, which always can happen. It's crypto. It's the most volatile space. America are doing their best to shit on crypto at the minute. They're trying to block all off-ramps. The SEC are after everybody, which we're going to talk about in a second. But guys, just look past the narrative and look at what the technicals are saying and look at what's happening actually in the economy. Have a look, have a think, and this is why I was preaching, like, if we get into a range that's severely a long way away from the all-time high, like severely retraced from the all-time high, don't be scared to start putting capital in, as long as you can sit and stomach the potential volatility. When we're 78, 73% down, okay, cool. Let's say we lost what? Even from there, let's say we lost another 15%. Cool, you missed the bottom by 15%, but if you did listen to my plead, then you'd be up 50% from, in what, 3 months, 4 months? Come on, man. Like, I'm not a rocket scientist. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work this out. When one side of the market is heavily one way, start positioning yourself the other way. Now, we're in a period of everyone has their hands up in the air, like, what the hell is going on? But I'm not feeling like that. I've said that this was going to happen. Whether we go up higher or not from here, I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows. Anything could happen. We've got blooming wars going on. But there's nothing to say that we can't do this. There's nothing to say that apart from human psychology and emotion. And that's the opposite of what you want to be trading on. You want to be trading against that. I actually think this is a very likely scenario to be playing out like this. And people are going to say, oh yeah, but look at historical data. It doesn't happen like that before the halvening. Yeah, exactly. But now we've had 3 cycles and now people are pricing in the halvening and people start to understand the cycles. So if you're going to wrong foot the majority of the crowd, how are you going to do it? You're not going to do it by having the same market structure as we have every single time, are you? We're probably going to pump into the halvening this time, in my opinion. Crypto is one of those things that is just going to, if we are going to continue with adoption, it's going to continue exponentially. And yes, this year is going to be rocky. It could be up, it could be down. We could see Binance go, we could see Tether go. Anything could happen, but we also could see candles like this, which is why I say position yourself well and don't invest anything you're not willing to lose, because it could be the other way. But I'm fully exposed, you know that. And I'll sit there and I'll ride the volatility. And even if I have to go, I've got all my capital in there, and look, for my age, I think I do pretty well. Like, my net worth's pretty decent for someone my age, in my opinion. But I'm not drawing any capital out of crypto. If I have to go and work at McDonald's or at Morrison's, I don't care. If I have to just do that to pay my rent, I'll do it. I'll literally do it because I know where, in my opinion, this asset class is going. And that's rant over now. I'm going to stop. But this is definitely something to keep your eye on. Forget the FUD, forget the narrative, look at the technicals and look at this volume and then look at it on the monthly as well. That is screaming to me that we could have a rip your face off rally here. It really is. It really is. And with the narratives from the banking system, if we see the collapse of like Deutsche Bank, they will print money. They will print money. And anyone who says they won't, I don't know what book you're reading from, because America right now, the world reserve currency, right? And what you're basically saying, if they do not print money or don't save the banks, they're saying, okay, we'll let our traditional financial system collapse, and that would mean essentially the end of the dollar. Is not going to happen. Do I think Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million like Balaji thinks? No, I don't think so. And I also don't think he necessarily believes it's going to go to 1 million in 90 days. I think he does that because he's trying to show people his opinion. And he's taking a bet on it to basically market his opinion. And I think that's fair because he's a wealthy guy. You can do what you want. But he's just showing how things could escalate. And I agree with the premise, but I just don't think it's going to go up that fast. I do think there's a high possibility we could see all-time high for Bitcoin in 2023, though. So hopefully you understand why. As soon as we see, anyway, going back to America, if we see the collapse of the traditional banking system, they're going to lose the dollar. So before they do that, what are they going to do? They're going to do everything they can to save the dollar. And that includes printing dollars to save the financial system. And when you print dollars, crypto goes up. It is not rocket science. And that's it. I'm stopping now. I'm stopping because I'm going to get irate. But anyway, let's continue. Talked about that. And then David Sachs says this rate hike feels like the calm before the storm, as we saw Fed Powell come out and say the banking system's safe and sound and all this sort of stuff. Let's raise 25 basis points. Don't think we need to raise any further, but we're not sure. Shut up, Powell, man. Like, you're actually miles off it now. And we all know that you're just doing it to try and get your name in the history books to say that you tamed inflation. But it's too much now, and you've ruined your own banking system. And I know you have to continue to save face, but right, I'm on one this morning, guys. Finally, we saw the SEC have come after Coinbase. Great point from Raoul Powell. The UK and other jurisdictions must be rubbing their hands together with glee. The US regulatory arbitrage is the core business model of UK financial industry. In his recent interview with Anthony Pompliano, he talks about how the UK took the euro-dollar market, which is basically all dollar trades outside of the US, which is actually a bigger market than the US trading in general because of the US's regulatory policies, and they're literally trying to crush crypto right now. I'm not really sure why. I do get it. They're trying to protect their financial system, but they're so short-sighted. And the UK are doing the same, to be honest. Like, the UK is saying that we want to come out here and be a crypto hub, but at the same time, blocking people from investing in crypto. What they want is to be able to track your transactions in terms of, so they can still make tax from you. But they haven't sorted it out yet. And it's their own fault. We've got dinosaurs leading the country. Like, what do you expect? I'm really on it this morning like that. And finally, are we going to see an XRP move? I said that I thought it would come and retrace back into this box. We are currently sitting at about 41 cents. We're around here now, like on the daily. And I do think we will probably continue this move, depending on if Bitcoin can hold, especially if we see something from Deutsche Bank, etc., and we see the printing of money or some news this week. Just remember, we're still waiting on the summary judgment from Judge Torres, which we've probably got less than a week before we hear from her now. Supposedly, what the attorneys have said anyway, and I think it will come sooner rather than later. Take your emotions away from that one as well, guys, because it is going to come whether you think it is or not. And if money gets printed, guys, we're going to go to the moon. And remember, on Friday afternoons is normally when banks declare insolvency, because then they have 48 hours to sort out the problem. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Do remember that I do have a newsletter, and we've upgraded our Patreon service. So if you did want to join in a group chat with both me and Pav, we're active in there. There is a Patreon service for that as well now. So go and check that out if you are interested. Other than that, guys, peace up, A-Town down. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments or send one over to me on Twitter at Cryptoinsightuk if you don't already follow me there. Peace up.